All right. Over here. Stop my face. Greetings in the name of His and Her Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie the First, Empress Mizera Mene. One perfect balance. Oh man, y'all caught me trying to just grab something to eat for the first time of the day. One of those days. But welcome to Politically Incorrect, where we get it correct. If we don't get it correct, well, you can always correct us. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yes, PIC, Politically Incorrect. Yeah, I like how that flowing though. Someone said they should have spelled correct with a K. I might change that. We'll see how it goes. Let me know what y'all think about that in the comments down below. If you're now tuning in, I spoke to the elder earlier from Yaramin Bishai. He's will be joining us tonight. We're gonna have a conversation about culture. But the thing with culture though is, let me put it in perspective first, because that's when it kind of get a little sidetracked. The word cult and culture, but we're dealing with restitution. You talk reparation and different things, but the truth is we want restitution, cultural restitution. What exactly does that mean? What does that mean? We're going to look at it tonight, along with two other things. Stagflation, you might want to write that one down. Yes, there is such a thing as stagflation. We're going to look at that as well. And also we're going to touch on something that's a bit, how should I say, outdated. Definitely outdated, I should say. Remember a month ago, April the 30th, we had a video from a particular minister, if y'all remember. Mr. Wilfred Abram was his name, and he came up there with a brother, Kurt Humphrey, and they talked about how disappointed they are at the lack of education, the lack of programming, the lack of this, the lack of that, the lack of treatment, medical, all this stuff at the JS, which is funny, because this is the minister in charge of the portfolio for the last how many years? 4 or 5 years at least. He's now come to the realization that he's disgusted by what's going on, which I don't understand why, because he would have just completed an investigation. And if he was paying attention, along with the emails from Marsha and Johnny Tudor, may he rise in power, and all the other people that alerted him, how comes he's only now disgusted? But wait, it gets better. The 6-week investigation that was in April, or announced back then, well, this is what, almost July. I mean, this is 27th. This is almost 2 months later. Not a word. These cats, man. I bet they come on the news this week. You got to watch Politically Incorrect first. But anyhow, before we get to that, man, let me just go and drop a tune. Go tell a friend to tell a friend. Politically Incorrect is on. And we in the building. Let it be known, man. Go tell a friend to tell a friend. I definitely got to shout out to those who came in early. Telma, I see you. Andrea, give thanks for the day. Glad you got things worked out as well. Sonia, I see you. Natasha, bless the love, family, as always. Live in love and well, in disguise. Why not? Bless up, family, to you too. Art in Motion, I see you. Yeah. Maria. Oh, Maria. Yeah. Good night, family. So tell you what, go tell a friend and tell a friend. In this brief intermission, I want to drop this tune here real quick. It's a tune that I beginning to replay recently. Love it. Go tell a friend and tell a friend. I'll be drop this little Capleton. Yeah, go a little Capleton to drop. Give me a sound check too, family. Once you can hear, let me know. Light and salvation. Who shall we fear? We shall fear no one. All light and all salvation. Fear no one, family. Yeah. Yeah. Pass the African shawl. Lick down Berlin Wall. Lick down Jericho Wall. Lick down Barbados Wall. Wicked man must fall. Cheese or bread. Cheese or light and salvation. You gotta pull that cable to man. They can't play that once. Can't play that one once. Can't play it once at all. Armageddon. Armageddon. Who shall we fear, family? Who shall we fear? No one. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Them fall. Hezaga roll. This Emmanuel. Jah is my light, is the light and salvation. Light and salvation. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Yeah. Yes, we shall fear no one, family. Had to take that call. Make you strong. Ban Babylon of the confusion. Yes, I'll be going up live shortly. Log in, log in. Yes, family, who shall we fear? We shall fear no one. Yes, family, Jazz, our light and our salvation. Who shall we fear? At Capleton, they're beating rough. It beating rough, family. I must admit, that one there feel mighty, man. Big up to the fireman. I remember days when I was in the system that time, I on Rikers Island and going up north, man. And again, you know, brother David Levy, rocking you, rocking you, rocking you. I mean, it's tunes like Capleton, you know what I mean? Anthony B. Them tunes would keep man sung and grounded in them times behind enemy lines, man. So definitely big shout out to David Levy, rocking you, rocking you, rocking you. And I must say, man, as the fireman, I must admit the fireman would keep the torch burning despite all man was going through. So big up to Capleton. Can't cool, can't quench, man, for real. Tell a friend, we up in live, family. We got a packed night. The elder from Yarman, I already sent the link. He's going to be coming in shortly. We're going to discuss this culture restitution because what does it mean? What is it? What does it mean? Because we got a few things to touch on. But before I get into that, I got to do some laundry at home. A bit of laundry. And I'm going to just jump right into it. Just as a quick reminder, because I know sometimes we be forgetting. You know, it's a Bajans, you know, it's a black people, but definitely Bajans got a short memory. But they ain't going to be so short, man. I can keep y'all posted on this thing. Y'all remember this clip right here? Y'all remember this? Let me fill this up, man. Y'all remember this? Yeah, turn your mic, bro.
Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. Recent events unfolding as they did have caused us significant concern. As Lisa indicated, we are looking at the concerns into the government industrial school, and we are also looking at addressing the concerns about Dodd's prison. Now, if I start with the government industrial school, the government industrial school has been plagued for many years with allegations of all kinds, allegations of abuse, mismanagement, antiquated policies and practices that were in convention, the UN rules for protection of juveniles deprived of their liberty. And we recently had two instances where wards of the institution, in one instance, sought to abscond, and in the second instance, actually were successful in absconding from the institution. Now, a lot of people have had a lot of things to say about the government industrial school, and I'm hearing all of them. I'm hearing all of them. And at the center of this, for me, is my concern for the well-being of the wards who are in our care. The young ladies who are at the government industrial school at Barrows in particular, many of them come from troubled circumstances. Many of them, they don't want to be there. They form part of our justice system, our juvenile justice system, and either are remanded into the care at Barrows in St. Lucie, or they're serving some type of sentence at Barrows in St. Lucie. But in any event, they are at St. Lucie and they're under the care and control of the government of Barbados and the Ministry of Home Affairs. It is in our interest that the young ladies who are at Barrows and the boys who are at Dodds get the best care possible. They're children. I have heard all sorts of comments swirling in social media, in the traditional media, about the wards of the two schools. I've heard information on their backgrounds. I've heard speculation as to why they're there, the types of persons they are, the types of homes they come from, even down to snippets of their medical history. In some cases, completely speculative, in many cases, unfounded. And it has to stop.
That's on my end. That's on my end. That's on my end. I was saying that yes, it has to stop based on what he was saying, because this is from April the 30th, if y'all can remember, and this is now June the 27th. So we are saying that to say that you're right. It has to stop. He's absolutely correct. It definitely has to stop. It has to stop. It has to stop. It has to stop. This has been going on too long, and his disgust. As a matter of fact, let me let you hear it from his mouth directly. Hold on.
It has to stop. We have to bring some order back to this situation.
Keep in mind that this is the minister for the whole thing, the whole time. He's been in charge of this the whole time. He's only now noticing this.
I've heard the allegations of abuse, and I'm concerned about them. I've heard the allegations of mistreatment, and I'm concerned about those. I've heard.
Keep in mind that Johnny Tudor told him about this back in 2018. Marsha told him this 2018, 2019, 2020. We mentioned this last year, 2021. This is 2022, and he's now admitting that he's a bit concerned. At what point did he become concerned? Well, when the girls got away and made him look bad and it became public and politically incorrect, allowing Marsha Weeks and some other folks, Women in Action, highlighted it, and claiming Marsha and her team as well. Now we're talking about this again. Now he wants to do stuff. But wait, there's more. This one more part. This is one part.
The allegations of bullying, and I'm concerned about those. We're dealing with a Victorian era institution in the 21st century Barbados. The thinking that initially informed the setting up of the government industrial schools, we've moved past that sort of penal and punitive thinking. We are now trying. It is not about punishment of the wards or our institutions. It is about trying to help them, trying to give them a voice, trying to reinforce positive thoughts, with them, trying that when they come out of the institutions, that they are better persons and better able to function in society. We have many positive stories coming out of the institutions, but then we also are all aware and we hear a lot of other allegations that are not so pleasant. The recent focus, the recent situation concerning the absconding of the young ladies from Barrows in St. Lucie has thrown up a lot of issues that bear immediate investigation and attention.
I can't. I look honestly, right? I can't even stomach this no more. Like even this, the idea that he thinks Barbadians are so. This is an insult to the intelligence of anybody who's listening. Quite frankly, like I said, Marsha came out. We all know that they've been new. They actually signed on to this thing ages ago. They all know they've done nothing. You won't hear nothing. Won't hear nothing but you resigning. Although you think we forget, we ain't forget. Anyhow, this is what I want to remind you all about. That this is the end of June and nothing ain't happened. We almost in July. Not a word. But I guarantee you this week you're going to hear something. Why? Because after all, politically incorrect. Yeah, be twisting his arm, man. He ain't going to have a choice but to say something this week. The little girl that got tased by the police, is she one of the girls at JS? Well, I saw the video. I didn't see that part of the video unless there's another clip. Not saying that it did not happen, but I really don't know what happened in that situation with a young lady that they said allegedly got tased by the police. I'm not sure why. I mean, I shouldn't say what I'm not sure why anybody would stand by and watch the police tase a child, quite frankly. You know, I don't think the police would stand by and watch somebody assault a child. So I think they would take immediate action. But we got to understand, police are just police in uniform, you know. A citizen can make a citizen's arrest. A citizen can detain anybody that they feel as though in the commission of what they feel as though is a crime against themselves or anybody else. You're allowed to do that. You are literally almost by the definition, they're police in uniform. You're police out of uniform. If you want to be truthful, if you see a police doing something that's wrong, you know, apprehend that man, or that woman. They don't get a free pass. No one is above the law. Remember what they said that? No one is above the law. What if no one is above the law? How can the police do stuff like that and that be okay? Because that's the system they have in place to make you feel that you can't do nothing. But we're going to get into that a little later. The elder here waiting in the studio. I'm going to bring him in a minute. I want to drop one more thing. Keep in mind that I just post a link to this particular video. Go watch it again in its entirety and listen to what these cats saying, because what they saying in April ain't what they saying in June, July. They ain't even saying a word to you no more. And more things has happened since then. They went to court last week, by the way, and guess what? From my understanding right now, there's been a gag order because I ain't hearing nothing. I ain't seen a clip in the media. I ain't seen nothing. The girls went to court again on Friday and still no resolution. Still, the government industrial school lawyers are fighting to keep them, I suppose, which is funny because these are women also. They're not even questioning allegations of different misconduct, like he also declared, and evidence of abuse, like he just indicated. The lawyers for JS is trying to hush everything, which is funny. I guess that's what lawyers are paid to do. However, everybody going quiet now. You can't hear a thing no more. So no information is coming out of the court as to what's going on with this case, because apparently there's been a gag order. I'm making an assumption because I ain't see it in the media. I ain't hearing nothing. I ain't even hearing from the lawyers. So I'm going to make the assumption that there's a gag order. Again, if I'm incorrect, please somebody correct me. But I wonder why there's a gag order. I wonder why we want to hush this up. The people of this nation demand to know what's going on with our taxpayers' money that you're robbing us for, and then you putting it to dirty use because these young ladies are being abused in most cases that he admit the situation is outdated. So I'm not speaking about speculations. The minister outlined most of it just now. Go and listen to the rest of the clip and you will hear what he has to say. But all this is tied in tonight with our conversation. Don't get it twisted. Right now, if the court has silenced anybody and they can't say nothing, this is the head reason why information needs to come out so the public of Barbados can hold the court, hold these judges by name, hold these lawyers by name, hold them all accountable. Y'all not going to escape. Y'all not going to escape because one way or the other, it going to come out. You know, it going to come out one way or the other. So dot your I's and cross your T's, man. I'm telling you, don't let this fall in your lap, my honor. Whoever the magistrate is in charge of this particular situation now, my honor, let me say this to you. I hope you get this message. Do not fail. You took an oath. Don't fail. Don't fail. Your gag order can save you. I'm going to tell you that. Y'all ain't getting away. See, I got to pay that Cableton again. Yeah. When you get a chance, go listen to that Cableton tune. Matter of fact, let me pause it real quick for those interested, man, because you don't understand this thing, man. Jah is my light and my salvation. Anyhow, family, enough of this. This debacle crack. Corruption by the highest in Barbados. Telma, how you know it's a good Telma? How you know it's a good Telma? But guess what? I got one more thing to talk about. That's I don't even know if it's corruption. I don't even know if I could call it corruption. But let me bring the elder in for a second here, man, and then spin into this one time. Do y'all remember there was an event recently? Now I didn't get to go. Well, not I didn't get to go. Like I needed permission. It wasn't that. It ain't my thing per se, but I would have gone maybe. Y'all remember this thing called Escape Weekend 2022? Did y'all remember that? Any of y'all remember that called Escape Weekend 2022? Well, apparently this particular event was hosted by some folks out of Toronto, Canada. I mean, out of T-Dot. And that's a young people term, out the T-Dot. Big up to the family in the north, by the way, all the Canadians watching, all my family in Montreal, British Columbia. Big up to the International Tribunal, Dan and the others, man. Yeah, Sensi. But this right here is almost, let me post this link for y'all because we got a few things to drop tonight, so we're going to have to touch and go. Let me go ahead and post this. This link right here, y'all need to read this article. This is coming out, and this article is coming out of a Canadian newspaper. It's not even local. A Canadian newspaper recognized what had happened and felt compelled to write an article on it. I just posted a link in the comments so you can go ahead and click on that and check it out. But this is an embarrassment. How Barbados welcome to tourists was not much of a welcome for a Black-owned travel group Lux Carnival. Now, what Lux basically did is they put on a festival and invited people from all over the world to spend a bunch of money to come to Barbados. I think it was close to $300,000 was spent in terms of revenue they bring to the island. Fortunately, and that was just for the weekend. They generated that kind of money to put into Barbados just for a weekend so folks could eat a food. On top of that, they had people donating all kind of stuff to charity at the time because this happened last year. This has been going on since last year for the event this year. They raised a bunch of stuff, food items, water, food and stuff. That time was Corona. We were locked down, trying to help out Barbados during these rough times. And guess what? Do y'all remember I talked about a package that was in the port last year, October? From like August, September, October. I mean, around that time. Y'all remember that? I gotta look for that one. Guess what? That stuff still in the port. Right. Still in the port. As a matter of fact, from my understanding, what I'm understanding is that the organizers from Escape Weekend and the people in charge of Lux, who was actually the ones making the donation. By the way, big up to the lady in charge. Sharon Nels is her name. Apparently, she's also a philanthropic worker. She does a lot of philanthropic work, donations and whatnot. And apparently, the food and stuff was there to be given out to Barbadians who were in need. Well, from what I understand, they're saying a lot of the food stuff is spoiled because it's still sitting in the port. This from last year. This is June. And I mean, I don't understand why. I don't understand it, man. The detail, I don't understand it, man. So I'm waiting for some more details. And apparently, the event that was, where is it? The event that was scheduled for the weekend apparently was canceled. It was canceled. As a matter of fact, regretfully, what should have been a fun-filled celebration of culture and much-needed economic stimuli to the island was met with misfortune of being abruptly canceled on the final day by local authorities without merit, recognizing that art and culture has always been a long-term vision for Lux Carnival, and we have been fortunate to have built a community of patrons who truly look forward to visiting Barbados for the first time. As a Black-owned business, we can excuse the way we were treated. Get this out. But we cannot pardon the way our patrons who spent thousands of dollars booking flights, hotels, and looking forward to the great weekend only to encounter such an unfortunate experience. Imagine that you book an experience, spend ticket fare, hotel fare, car fare, rental, to come to Barbados for the event, to go to the event and have the authorities cancel it. You done travel from all the way from Mexico, Hawaii, all over the world to come to this event, and they cancel it. Collective, our patrons contributed over 210,000 US dollars, which is almost $500,000, towards flights and local economy for Escape Weekend. Look, family, go read this, see what's going on. Toronto is putting Barbados out there. And there's more to come to this. I'm definitely going to try to get in contact with these people and see if we can do an interview to find out what really went down. Because these are the things that we got to really realize. Family, this is ridiculous. Yes, I remember the package really stoops. Yeah, man. I went them to spend some of that money on the hotels. Look, Monica, it is crazy how we just treat our own, man. But anyhow, what is culture? Restitution. This is why we have these things going on. And the last thing I want to touch on real quick. Where is it? Hold on. Let me touch it before I bring the elder in. Or while I bring the elder in, because I know he's going to want to touch on this without question. Without question. Let me go ahead and bring this in. This right here was a heartbreak. I shouldn't say a heartbreak. I mean, not to me, but let me see if I can zoom in on this. How can I zoom in on this? It's funny, though, and I want y'all to look at something real carefully for me here real quick. How they managed to... Well, I'm not getting it zoomed. Not the way I want to zoom it. So let me just put this back the way it was and see if I can zoom it. They got both... Yo, these papers ain't funny at all here. No pun intended. But they have two guys here. No seat at the table, Rastafarian community. And, of course, on the other side, you got not the same, Peter Wickham. But anyhow, we're going to focus on my brother here, Simba, Ras Simba. No seat at table, Rastafarian community. From my understanding, this has a lot to do with the Constitution of Barbados and whatnot. Now, with us tonight, join us is no stranger, is our resident neighbor, none other than, I don't know if it's so famous or infamous, but either way, our very own Bishai, Ras Bishai, the elder from Yarraman. Welcome again to Politically Incorrect, elder. Greetings.
Greetings. Good night, family. Good night, family.
Yes.
Good night, family. Family
Yes.
of Politically Incorrect, loving family, internationally, wherever you are.
Yes,
Greetings in the name of His and Her Imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie, Empress Menen.
Rastafari.
You know,
Yes, I.
blessings from Urame, St. Vincent.
Yes.
We are in the worst of times and we are in the best of times.
Yes,
Depending from which perspective, bro.
Indeed. It's always an honor to have you with us. Always an honor. I mean, folks love you here in Barb. Listen, the folks love you here, you know. Folks love you here.
I love my people too, man. I love my people. Real love, man. Genuine love.
Genuine, real serious thing.
Indestructible love. Nothing could get between us, you know.
Serious.
Yeah, probably. It's happening. It's happening. Our ancestors are here.
That's
Only
right.
those who have eyes to see them can see them right now. They are here, people.
That's right. Indeed.
We had a natural mystic last Wednesday, and I mean,
yeah, the tree.
I'll tell you a little about it.
Everything for a reason, man. Everything.
Yeah, there's an area in St. Vincent called Belle Isle. It's about 700 feet above sea level. Going to the leeward side, though.
Mm-hmm.
Western side of the island, northwest, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was excellent. Some of the best agricultural lands we have, and the government took it when they came in and made a prison on one side and a garbage dump on the other. So this is like the gate going into North Leeward. You have to pass through a prison and a garbage dump. Anyway, I was doing some work with some farmers last week. And Wednesday night and I was coming up. There was no rain on Wednesday, no rain on Tuesday, no rain on Wednesday, no wind, no rain.
Right.
I remember this is the start of the hurricane season.
Right.
And every national emergency organization in each CARICOM country always inform the residents to clear overhanging trees and so on, right? That's something that's happening in Barbados, right?
Of course. Cut on the branches
Okay.
and stuff. Of course.
I remember I tell you this is a government place, right?
Right.
When we got to the summit of the hill, we saw dozens of vehicles backed up.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Said, Jed, you can't go down there now, you know why? A big tree, a big galba tree fall in the road. You know, so I start, I say, fall, tree just fall like that. You had a whole year of almost dry season to make sure that the same order you put out that people must clean overhanging branches and so on, you didn't put them in order.
Right.
So a tree fell. But the mistake is that this is a busy road, a main road. Nobody got injured. People were literally feet away from where that tree fell. Vehicles.
Wow. Wow.
Coming in both directions, right?
Wow.
And this is a tree that it had to take a power saw with a 24-inch blade to cut the trunk. That will tell you how wide it was.
Wow. Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
And the unpreparedness, this is not different than any other government. The unpreparedness is that we were there for 2 hours and none of the government facilities. There's a Vinlek station about 10, 15 minutes away on the leeward side. And there's an agricultural station about 10 minutes away on the windward side from it by driving, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you couldn't get a saw. Now, these are the people who are in control of our security, you know. You couldn't find a saw.
Don't have a chainsaw.
No.
No kind of saw.
Well, the Vinlek people came, thanks to them, late. And these are the guys who are already home.
Right.
Heard the pleas of the people and came in one of the vehicles they kept for the night. Had a small chainsaw.
Mm.
So I said, where's the bigger one? The management took them away the day before and sent all for servicing at the same time.
Natural mystic, man. Natural. Everything for a reason, man. Everything for a reason.
I took that as an omen that fall in the tree is like the whole system fall in the region, man. It fall.
Yes,
and
indeed.
It didn't damage any one of us, you know, family.
Indeed,
none of us.
Indeed. No, they have fallen. I mean, it's evident. But what happened is that they're banking on us to prop it back up to make it look like it's still working.
No energy for them, bro. No energy for them.
All this stuff is. That's why I want to touch this. They had it, well, to my knowledge, I don't know how detailed it is. Because the brother said they invited him to sit in this Constitution hearing or whatever they had. I don't know what it is. Because they didn't invite me. It's a good thing they didn't invite me at all. I tell you, because I would have lit this place right up. I would have lit this up. I kid you not. And then sit down there and keep quiet. Look, I would have lit that place up and walk. Security would have had to put me out. I would have walked, but I would have lit that, because here's the reality. Rastafari, and I said this before to a sister in her restaurant, and I wasn't trying to be disrespectful when they was trying to encourage me to submit to this government, particularly me, and more importantly, my response was, the government of Barbados can do nothing for Rastafari but move out the way. That's all they could do. Move out the way. Because the reality is, the Constitution of Barbados, we are not party to that. That has nothing to do with us. As indigenous beings, as sovereign beings, why would we want to submit and acquiesce as Rastafari to a constitution that's from a colonial point of view? There's nothing, we don't even support the Constitution, period. Because it had nothing to do with us to start with. It was never for us. It wasn't written for us. It wasn't written by us. We never had an input. We will never have an input, and therefore it cannot be pertaining to us. We need to have our own constitution that they recognize, just like the American Embassy, just like the British High Commission, just like the Canadian Consulate, just like all of them that they recognize. But see, the problem in Rastafari, and I hate to even say the problem, because it's not really a problem, because I is Rasta and I know this thing. Enough ones don't know certain things, because enough ones spend years burning fire, right? And rather than putting one in the position where ones would know certain things, well, here we are now at this juncture, looking for a space in a colonial, modern, digital prison. Rastafari don't want no seat at nobody table. Rastafari have a mansion. Why look like want to get at your table and they got a mansion? That make no sense.
Dude.
So what we want to know is, what is cultural restitution? What does that mean? We want restitution. What does it mean, Elder? We want cultural restitution. We don't want no constitution. We don't want no reparation, at least not yet. We want cultural restitution. What is cultural restitution?
Well, basically, in the simplest way I could put it, is cultural restitution is the returning of all our cultural artifacts and cultural phenomena that was stolen from our ancestors and is still being stolen from us right now.
Including the land.
Of course, culture. The land is the basic. The land is the basic.
The land.
The land, without our culture, was based on the land. The land was the root of the culture.
That's right. The root. I like it. Rastafari. The root of the culture is the land.
Because when the colonialists came to Barbados and they came to Europe, they came for the land.
That's right.
So,
that's right. That's
and
right.
they took the land by force and by cunning.
That's right.
So what they're calling now the Crown land. And family, you all have to go and check out and see what Crown means. It's not about just the British Crown. The Crown is a colonial, Babylonian, Roman construct.
That's right.
Right? That is their Crown. And it involves certain bloodlines. But we are the royal blood.
Rastafari.
Right? Some of them don't have 1 ounce of melanin, but they want to claim royalty. That's not how it goes. You know? This is a deep thing. So we have to know ourselves, know who we are culturally, spiritually, and even physically right now, and call, as the brother is saying, for the restitution of our culture.
That's right.
Demand it.
That's right. And I like how you put
Starting first with the land.
The land, the root, because everything we have as a culture birthed from the land.
We are people of the land. We and the land are one and the same. Our melanin comes from the land, reinforced by the sun.
That's right.
If you have anything else, you know?
That's right.
So we have to make sure that we have the restitution, the total restitution of our culture over shortest period of time possible.
Agreed. Totally agree. Totally agree. And this is why I'm saying that the idea the brother went, and I mean, don't get me wrong, when I look at this article here and I see the brother and I saw the clip in the Nation News and no seat at table, Rastafari community. I know the brother personally, and I know his heart is in the right place. But what I would say, that they invited him, they didn't call me. And they know why they couldn't call me. They know why they couldn't call me, because I would have went for sure. For sure would have went. But I would have definitely had to put certain things in perspective early out, because the reality is Rasta don't want your constitution, whether it is the pre-colonial one or the New Republic one, because none of the two can ever serve His Imperial Majesty. That is a colonial. Nope. That has enough. Rasta is sovereign. Rasta is indigenous. Well, if I am indigenous, I am sovereign. And if I'm sovereign, how could I acquiesce my sovereignty? Or better yet, how can I claim my sovereignty when I acquiescing or submitting to your constitution, to your rule in me? Well, I can't be a slave and a master at the same time.
No, not at all.
I can't be a slave and a master at the same time. I can't be bond and free at the same time. I gotta be either or. That's why they call us minority, because they know that we brain dead. They have the stuff we be thinking about and asking for. They be laughing at us. That's why they play the game the way they play the game, from political ping pong from one party to the next party, from one party to the next party. This is why we find ourselves in these positions, because we want to sit at the table. We don't want no seat at nobody. Why? We don't want no seat at the master table. We know how to build our own house. Why beg you for a seat when I could just build my own? We should be building our own all now. We have a constitution that His Imperial Majesty gave us. We don't have no Rastafari. Look, if other groups have their challenges, I could understand that. Rastafari had no excuse in 2022 to be subjected.
Absolutely none. Absolutely none.
We have no excuse. None. His Imperial Majesty gave us a constitution to guide us in these times. So what's the problem? Elder, what's the problem? We want cultural restitution. We want back the land. Barbados would claim, I was actually looking for the video because I have it and I queued it, which is strange because now I'm looking for it. I ain't seeing it. The video with Hillary Beckles speaking to the gentleman about the slave codes in Barbados. I can't understand this though. Why had this queued up? Why don't? Anyhow, that's happened sometimes, man. But I
you see what they did with the land when they came? The land was shared up in among the institutions that were at the head
that's right.
of slavery and colonization.
That's right.
The churches and the military forces
That's
and the
right.
politicians. These are the
That's
people
right.
who owned all the lands, you know.
Serious.
And some of the people who own lands even in Barbados never came to Barbados either.
It's true. Facts. Facts.
Just like here.
Facts.
They told us in school that they'll own them in absentia. Right? But the land, which appreciates in value all the time, kept making money for them all the time. And that's the old wealth in which they built on to now want to feel that they could rule us and push us here and buy our political parties and put them in office when they want to take them out. That is exactly what is happening with our cultural artifacts and our cultural heritage. So we must have the restitution of our culture.
It must. The land must be given back. And the thing is, not necessarily by negotiation, because here's the reality. He claimed that this was the first genocide island in the Caribbean. And I was saying to someone, it means that there were folks here. Well, yes, they killed a lot of people throughout the Caribbean, but folks also fled to Yarramin, fled to St. Lucia. And so there are people who are originally from here that are still here, who have returned here, who are here, and claiming
some fled to Tobago too.
The indigenous status. So what can you do? What are you going to tell them? Where you going to tell them?
Absolutely.
We know who we are here. We know who we are. And my thing is right now, that's the only conversation the government should be having with any sovereign or indigenous group right now in Barbados, especially Rastafari. So no, we don't want to sit at your table. So yes, you can keep your whatever table or whatever constitution, whatever you got republic about, that has nothing to do with us and our sovereignty. Nothing. We don't want nothing to do with it anyhow.
I want to say included in this cultural restitution is a small package, is also the package of reparation. That is why we cannot ask for reparation alone, because reparation is just a part.
That's right.
They have been using us and the strong people they create from us to gain wealth.
That's right.
So all these regional institutions, CARICOM, University of the West Indies, Caribbean Development Bank, all these organizations now have to be ready to do what they're supposed to do. Serve the nations of the region, including us. We are not begging for it again.
No. And that's why it's important at this hour, because see, that's why they call it the Great Reset, because the old order has expired. They had leased the region for a period of time. The constitution was for a period of time. All that is null and void. That's why they had to rush and try to switch up in Barbados, because Barbados has always been the experiment. I can't understand why I can't find this, because I had this queued. I got to think now in my mind. I got to search for it, ancestors, before night up going to give it to me, man. I going to find it, because I want to play. As a matter of fact, as I speak, it's coming, man. It coming.
Yeah, man. Mystic powers, man. Powers.
No, it's come. I don't have to worry with everything. I know it's come. I just be, so that I get ahead of myself, right? Rather than be still, like, reveal itself. So, yeah, you go ahead and explain, Elder. I can let it come to me.
Yeah, so here we are now. What we have to do now is to recognize, first of all, within us, our cultural identity, right? And then put it out there, put them on notice that this is our cultural identity. In doing that, we are not taking their identification card, this digital stuff. We're not into that.
Right, that's right.
We will have our own identification card, and it would be common in the entire Caribbean among indigenous people.
That's right.
Okay? So we will have a seat as a people at every institution in the region because we were the first people here. CARICOM, Caribbean Development Bank, OECS Central Bank, University West, wherever, we collectively will have proper and balanced representation.
Serious.
Okay?
Serious.
So that when this same, let me relate it to the same 25 by 25, which we know for them it's a little multiplication, but for us, it's something that we have to do. We have to reveal it. We have to make it happen. They're only talking that. They're not ready to put it in place.
Serious.
To put it in place effectively, the land must be returned to its rightful owners, first of all. Whether it's in Barbados, in Guyana, in Trinidad, in St. Vincent, in Urumin, wherever, the land from which whatever to be produced has to be produced must be returned to its rightful owners. We are the heirs of the land.
Serious. Facts.
Without that, nothing happening. This is not the old matrix where you bring in capitalists, greedy capitalists, as the brothers say, as Chronic say, and they come here and try to produce the same foolish food here and feed us. No, that's not it. The food we're going to produce in these islands is directly related to our culture. That is also part of our cultural restitution. Because in our culture, we didn't have any non-communicable diseases.
No.
No, we didn't have that. I remember, I am old enough to remember my grandparents' generation. I never see anybody obese out to them. Never saw. Obesity is something we start seeing in the late 70s, the early 80s, and in that kind of time. And even in those times, you could count the number of people on both hands. Today, our people playing more strokes than the West Indies cricket team. They're having more strokes than the West Indies cricket team.
Wow.
Every day somebody has a stroke, a mild stroke, a severe stroke, a not so severe stroke. And it's directly related to the food that they're trying to feed us on.
We're not connecting the dots, you know. And it's important that we connect these dots, you know.
Paramount importance. Of paramount importance, brother. Paramount importance. So we have to forget whatever grouping we are in. Any little skip, that is not important right now. Those things are minor compared to the war we are fighting for our own existence in this iteration right now.
Mm-hmm.
We are the people, we have to bind together. And there's only one principle, basic principle that could keep it, the principle of collective security, family.
Serious.
Collective security. And that was what the emperor was saying at the bowling to them. The principle of collective security, if it doesn't hold at the United Nations and hold everywhere, we're in trouble. So we want to make sure that that is the principle in which all of us are bound together in the region. All of us. Collective security. What happens to the family in Barbados affects the family in Trinidad, affects the family in St. Vincent, affects the family in Grenada, affects the family wherever.
We're not even looking at it. We're not even looking at it like that, man. I mean, and that's a fact. That because see the flags. I am Barbadian. You are Vincentian. I am Lucian. I am Guyanese. Not realizing that's how they keep us from recognizing the scam. Meanwhile, they all part of the G7, the summit, the COP, that, the third, the G20. They all part of these groups, but we all separated and can't come to realize that it's a scam.
Total scam.
Under their rule. I was even telling someone, if you think about it, man, this whole thing with the Republic in Barbados, this maritime law they're dealing with, we don't want the maritime law because maritime law is the law of the sea.
Exactly.
On the land. Where is the law of the land? The law of the land is indigenous.
Exactly.
The law of the land is indigenous. You ruling us with laws of the sea on land. What does that mean? Oh, pirates, yes, they rob by.
Huh?
That's why any government institution you go into, whether it's in your land, my land, some other land, yo, people, hold on. Let me put this up, man. I want you all to check this out for yourself. You could go into any government institution in Barbados, go into any one of them, going to drive motor vehicle, MTW, going even the banks. I guarantee you, you're going to find a flag of that nation surrounded by a fringe, a gold fringe. You will almost never see the actual flag that they claim is the flag of that land without a fringe in those institutions. And do you know why? Because it means that those institutions, where you see that flag with that fringe, they're practicing maritime law. That's what
Merchants of Venice, the merchants of Venice, man.
Okay.
These are the people who still looking for the pound of flesh, you know.
That's why they say that the Vatican owns everybody's soul. But
Yeah.
not that they own literally your soul. What has happened is that they have kidnapped your soul. They have hidden your soul behind the birth certificate and the ID card, which is the plantation card, and have sold it into the Vatican for a pound of flesh.
Yeah. Merchants of Venice, man.
But we ain't ready for that. But reality is, there's some of us that know what time it is and ain't going in for it. So no, my brother, I support you always, but we don't want to see. His argument was that the Rastafari community was not considered within the framework of the Constitution. And I keep telling people, Mia Amor Motley, right, is sacrificing herself to open a door for Rastafari to come forward.
Uh-huh.
She is sacrificing herself. Why would I say that? Well, because every I turn, those who have eyes to see can see here. As far as I'm concerned, she is wedging the door open. And as far as I'm concerned, when she can no longer go any further, Rastafari will take it from here.
Well, I'm going to say something. It might sound simple, but look at this. Look at her opening remarks, her entree at the speech of the Summit of the Americas.
Ah, man, don't even do it. Give it to
In
me.
Rastafari cultural artifacts again.
Give it to me, Rasta.
So she used that to get through the door to that portal so that she could come Time magazine on the cover of Time. And you telling me that Rasta doesn't have a seat? Rasta has a seat. We don't want to admit that.
Rasta is the table in the mansion. The table belongs to us, you know. It
Of
belongs
course.
to us. There's a picture of Charlie Brown. I don't have it now. It's on my Facebook page, though. I'll have to go and look for it. One of my earlier, maybe I should look for it, because I did get the download for the other information, and I do have that, by the way. The elders, the ancestors, don't leave me out. So I have that clip here as well. I have it there queue up. But the picture of Charlie Brown is at the table. And man, I going for it, man. I going for it. That shouldn't take me a long time to find that. That should be the issue. But I can give you the dialogue in the meantime. So the picture is Charlie Brown. And he is sitting there. Let me go to my albums and probably one of my mobile uploads from way back, all 1,100 pictures. I can see how you get the borders now. But he's sitting at the table. But on the table is Charlie Brown. Everybody is around the table on one side. Everybody on the table on one side. And on the other side is the black fella. I don't remember his name in the cartoon. I really don't remember his name. I should probably just Google it instead. Charlie Brown at the table. I should probably just Charlie Brown at the table. You look for it. There you go. See? God, I love technology, man. Let me just pull this up real quick. Y'all gotta see this, man. How do I enlarge this? Let me see. They said this was racist back in there. They said this was racist. They said this was a racist image. But an elder, right? I had an elder. Big up to Mr. Smith, by the way. Mr. Smith don't give me a break at all, man. The elder said, hold on, Emmanuel. What are you telling me at all? You don't really see what's going on here. So at first I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? He said, look at it again. Let me pause this. Let me go stop share. Let me go share this real quick. I want y'all to check this out. And tell me what y'all see. Tell me what y'all see here. So this is Charlie Brown, the picture. Notice that everybody on one side, the man, Charlie Brown at the head and the other sister at the bottom. and everybody on one side. And I said, well, damn, boy. They said, so I was taught conditionally, well, look, they were so racist, nobody don't want to even sit down with Charlie Brown. See, everybody got a cheer, and he got a big cheer, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But then the elder tell me, Rastaman, said, look at it again, man. Like, he said, look at it again. Relook the picture. I re-looking. He said, you can't see it. I'm like, I don't, what you mean? He said, study it for a minute. He said, notice that, yes, the black man by himself, yes. But he got the most comfortable chair at the whole table.
Yep.
He got the most comfortable chair. Furthermore, he even got utensils to eat with. Nobody else got utensils. He said, the truth is, they're not running from him. It's his table. He's who in charge. He said, it is just perspective. And I said, well, wait a minute.
Of course. The best of times and the worst of times. Perspective, of course.
Perspective, man. So it's what you see that you're going to manifest, you know. You can either see that people dominate you and you begging for a scotch, or you can see that it's your table and you in charge and start to speak those things.
That's it.
And call it into being on a spiritual level. The problem with Rastafari is Rasta don't want to deal with the spiritual Rasta. Rasta one day with the image of Rasta. But Jah know, right? Those who feels it knows it here.
That is why it said those who have eyes to see will see, because if you're not seeing from that perspective, then what you're seeing is just illusion.
It's an illusion.
Yeah.
Illusion. Serious.
You're not seeing the reality.
Serious.
And we have to see the reality in this time.
Especially this time. I want to play this clip here though, without question. Let me go ahead and share this page here. I'm going to share the link too as well. Now, this is not the one but I found it, so it doesn't matter whether it was the first or the second one. But I'm going to put this up real quick too. Listen to what this man is saying here. I mean, like it or not, man. I mean, there's knowledge all around us. We have no excuse in 2022 for not knowing this thing. No, BBC, don't act up.
Built a new kind of society.
Let me go back here. Hold on. Pull this up. Get a little volume. Wait, what the volume there though? I think there's it here. Yeah. Check this out.
Of how Britain's first slave owners built a new kind of society.
The link right there, family.
Barbados became the world's first slave society. This is a unique historical development. A slave society is quite different from a society with slaves. All the societies in the hemisphere had enslaved peoples. But Barbados was the first to be built and sustained completely upon the enslavement of Africans with no alternative system of economic development.
He said Barbados was the first to be built entirely. You understand what the man said, though, man?
Slave system was ruthlessly enforced right from the start.
Ruthless.
One document found here dates from 1661. It's known as the Barbados Slave Code. Authored by the island's most powerful slave owners, it gives a rare insight into their way of thinking. Part of that process of transforming people from human beings and into things is to justify it. And on the very first page of the Barbados Slave Code, it describes Africans as people who are heathenish and brutish, and a certain and dangerous kind of people. This is early racism that's born out of not just hatred, but self-interest.
The man said, turn people from humans into things. So we got to understand that when they're talking now, when they get and discussing things now, you got to understand how they viewing us now, because these are the documents that built this nation, you know. All this is what built this nation, you know. So we talk about Barbados and Constitution, this stuff. This is that whole package. Going back to what the minister said earlier about the government industrial school, when it was first put in motion, it had a different objective, you see, and they never changed it. Never changed this. Let me listen to a little more. Hold on.
Question is, does that language originate in the context of Barbados, or is it imported from England into the Barbadian space? The historical evidence suggests both of these things are taking place. The English arrived in the Caribbean already with a fully formed racist and racial view about other people, especially African peoples. But the market conditions have enabled an existing racial mentality and racist mentality to take root in economic and financial management. And so you build an economy that is reflecting your state of mind.
The code goes beyond racist ideas. It details the slave owners' reprisals for acts of resistance. Looking at the slave code, the issue of violence comes up very quickly. It says here that if any Negro shall offer any violence to any Christian, any white, by striking or such like, that Negro shall, on his first offense, be whipped, on his second offense be severely whipped and have his nose slit and be burned with a hot iron on some part of his face.
Okay. Okay. So you see the mentality of who we're dealing with. This is what we deal. This is what we're dealing with.
Brother, family, we are not castigating anyone. Listen to the words in that last sentence. Listen it. Listen the construct. We're talking about 1661.
Serious.
If any Negro, that's how they classify us, right?
Yep. Yep.
Does anything violent against our Christians.
Bear in mind, he wasn't talking about black Christians, don't white people. Because Negroes weren't Christians then. Okay.
People, you cannot run from the truth.
You ain't easy.
You're not come from the truth. These are the people who enslaved us. You heard he identified them, you know.
True.
And it's identified in a lot of documents, different documents.
True.
In Europe here, one of the biggest landowners were the churches. Still is.
Right here in Barbados too.
Okay.
Still is. Ask the church how they get all that land.
We can't, and this whether you like it, yes or no. Facts and reality are two things you can't change. Knowledge.
Serious.
The forbidden fruit, knowledge.
Serious.
You cannot pretend now to be of that congregation and hoping to free your people, you know.
Serious. I fully understand, bro.
I have to say nothing more on that. Okay?
Rastafari.
The Africans are in revolt. They are
by no African
the
spirituality.
English have made an enormous investment, capital investment in their plantations and their enslaved labor.
Hold on.
They want to make a profit. So this system requires extremely violent suppression.
So this, you might say, it requires extreme violent suppression. Yeah, I got to go and listen to the rest of that, man. Like, I mean, that speaks so much. He gets into so much detail. You start to realize that they had their own plan. They've been had their plan. They're going to keep doing their plan. The question is, what is our plan? What is our plan based on? What is it built on? You started to speak about African spirituality, which ties back into the land.
Of course.
Well, that's the direction we need to be going in.
Definitely so. Definitely so.
You cannot separate the two. You can't.
Nope. And if you just even think it about trying to replenish the land, it's only our people now could replenish the land, because the system has destroyed the biological life of most of the lands in the Caribbean.
Yep. Deliberately.
Right? And we are the ones who have to restore. Right? We are the one who have to replenish the life of the land, so that the life in the land could give us more life.
That's right. That's right. Fully agree. Fully 100 agree. And this is why it's important in these times now that we recognize our roles, especially as indigenous people, because like I said, a lot of people right now are not sure where to turn, because they see the noose getting tighter and tighter, you know, and people realize it, but it's like where to go. So Rastafari got to show that way. Got to show
Definitely.
The way. It's a must.
Definitely.
cultural.
I have a proposal to give to my Bajan family.
Yes.
Let us not wait on our good friend Mia. She wants to come, she has to come with us. We will welcome her to come with us.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You take, I don't know what your population size is right now. Somebody tell me what the population of Barbie, last figure.
What they say is almost 300,000. Round it off. They said 280.
Okay, let us say 300,000, right? And you multiply that by 1992. Why 1992? Because 1992 Barbados dollars is the value of the annual food imports per capita in Barbados per person. Everyone has a bill, food import bill on his or her head, from the youngest child to the oldest person, of $1,992 a year. They want to cut that by 25%. So by 25%, we get 149,400,000.
149 million.
Yeah, 400,000. Okay? I am saying to my Barbadian family, all the indigenous people together, you get together and I will work with you. I have other people who work with you. You put a program together to produce $149 million worth of food in Barbados in the next 3 years. And that money has to come to you because that is part of the restitution.
Of course.
We are the only ones who could do that. And Caribbean Development Bank, if you're listening, we're not asking you for the money, we're just asking you to administer the money.
That's right.
That's your work, to administer the money.
That's it, because it's ours.
It's our money. And we will be transparent. You do your work, you administer it. We do our work, we organize and produce the food and whatever. $149.4 million. That is what you have to look for in Barbados there to get 25% down. Okay?
Serious.
And I show that with the collective security in Barbados, it can happen and it will happen.
And I totally agree. Totally
We're doing the same thing here. We have $56.5 million. We already started.
Nice. Well, we know we got work to do, and we're doing work to the fade. So I could see that. I could see how that happens going forward without even a hesitation. It's so exciting at these times. And I was actually up in a particular part of the island recently. I wouldn't even say where. This, the spirit took me there, and I was just observing, like, well, wait, though, just so, and I ain't getting on here at all. This want capturing, though. Well, reclaiming. Let me rephrase it. It needs to be reclaimed. So there's things happening, man. There's things happening, and I give thanks, for being here at this time. And spiritually speaking, man, we here for a reason. We here for a purpose. A few of us volunteered to come on this mission, earthbound, and we here, and we ain't going nowhere. We got work to do. There's a duty.
You got work to do.
We got work to do. We don't mind them and them foolishness. That don't even make sense. Lions don't look back when dogs bark. We don't worry about that. We know the way already. We already know the direction. We know the outcome. So we're pushing forward. One of the other things I wanted to put the people up on tonight is a particular word. Let me go ahead and just pull this real quick. What time is it? Okay, 111. Good time. Let me go and pull this up real quick. It's a word called where is it? Stagflation. Let me pull it. let me hear you right to laugh. Family, I got the word for the night, man. I mean, because I don't be doing this thing random. It don't be random.
No, you do a lot of work behind the scenes, man. A lot of work you do, brother.
Purpose work. This word here, stagflation. I want y'all to pay attention to this. Look, the book I have up tonight is The Law of the Kings. I don't know if you see it, Elder. I don't know if you see it. I put up this one tonight. Yeah,
I see it there. Okay. Yeah.
Law of the Kings. It's a serious book. We know what time it is. You can't trick the people. You can't trick the people. But you see this stagflation? I want y'all to write this word down. Get a pen, get a piece of paper. Write this down, screenshot, whatever you got to do. understand that the GDP is down, unemployment is up, and the demands for the goods is down because they don't have any. There ain't the goods there. Food getting scarce. But the food that you do have, inflation going through the roof. That is called stagflation. Don't mind it talking the IMF in Barbados and the economy boom and all this crap they're telling you. We meet these conditions. Don't get tired with it. As a matter of fact, per capita, since you brought it up, Elder, Barbados household, every household in Barbados, per capita has not increased. Period. I was using independence, but it has always gone down. Family, we're not doing better. We are sinking deeper in debt. We are sinking deeper and deeper in debt.
And they don't want you to know.
When they project these numbers, is based on what is it? I guess the what the word they use? What's the word? The statistics that they formulate, but the statistics is based on a certain sector, not overall. Don't let it fool you. Yes, the GDP is up by 2%. This kind of talk, it sounds good, but when you look at it as a broader scope, juxtaposed to everything, family, we sinking in this whole murky quicksand of financial debt and Chinese loans, because reality is this. These cats know what they're doing and why they defer this money, because they know it's almost a guarantee, like all the other countries before us who have resources, which is funny. Here's the thing. Countries where resources, right now in India, right? Let me go a little deeper real quick. Right now in India, the electricity gets cut off. I think they said about 15% of the day. For hours, some places is 6 hours, some places is 12 hours, some places almost 18 hours a day with no electricity. This is deliberately done by the government. Right now, the government in in Pakistan rather, is begging the citizens to stop drinking so much tea. They said they can't afford it. GDP, they can't afford to keep buying tea, importing tea. It's too expensive, because right now China own most of the electrical plants in Pakistan. And what has happened is that they can't pay them back. So the Chinese plant decided to do, shut it down. You can't pay a light bill, we shut the whole electric plant down. Whole plant down. Why? Because you can't pay the bill. And China is not even interested in renegotiating a deal, even with help from the IMF. They're holding them to ransom. You're going to pay me or else. And here comes Barbados now. We ain't even got the resources to be borrowing money from the Asian loan shark. I could only tell you what's going to happen next, man. But we're here to save the day. So there's hope, family. There's hope. There's hope. There's hope. Definitely hope. But Elder, it's always good to have you on board with us. Give us some words before we shut the wrap up here. Give us some work, man.
Well, I am saying to you, we have already proved that these slick-mouthed people who come from these organizations, whether they come from the European Union, they come from the United Nations or wherever, what they say they don't mean. Just give me a minute, let me show you something here, right?
Go ahead, man.
On June 27, 2018, the EU ambassador, we had a program we called, it was in the Windward Islands, Banana Adjustment Measures.
Right.
Meaning that they were doing things in the agricultural sector to adjust to the loss of market income from bananas, right? In Windward Island. So each Windward Island had a export at the time, a 5-year project program funded by European Union. Again, the real people who were supposed to be there were never at the table. They just brought this thing like that, like how they brought the Constitution. So in 2018, when the program finished, on June the 27th, which was just a year and a day ago, and I'm quoting, the EU ambassador to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Daniela Tramassier, remember her, right? Said, and this is what she said, the establishment of the Montreal Greenhouse Park, that's a part in St. Vincent, represents our vision for reviving agriculture in St. Vincent and Grenadines.
Wow.
And also making it competitive, sustainable, and able to satisfy not only local demand for produce, but also external demand, such as the cruise industry and neighboring islands. Now, you heard the words, right? Our vision, meaning their vision. You know what has happened since 2018?
Let me guess. Nothing.
We have produced less and imported more every year. So that is the vision they have. This place has produced very little. The same institutions you open, which is supposed to be a greenhouse park, producing seedlings and vegetables.
That place is closed down. That place on the Leeward is closed down. I seen it myself. As a matter of fact, before you get to the prison, there was a large set of construction going on, like the digging out of like there was moving some large portion of land going up the hill towards the prison.
Right, that's Belial.
What it was? What
the prison is Belial.
What was that they doing there? It was like they had big construction going on.
They were straightening out the corner in the road.
Wait. All that was to straighten out the corner. to straighten out the corner. You can't make
that is the way they give money to their cronies. So they write a project which will normally cost $200,000. They write it for $1.2 million.
Because he has to straighten out the corner. Of course, it's going to take a lot of money. How else can you straighten out the corner? You can't make this stuff up, man. Look,
so family, we have to stay together. We have to correspond together.
It's true.
We have to harmonize our activities and make sure that we stand on that principle of collective security.
Rastafari.
And once we do that, forget the little differences. Everybody can't be the same. The world would have been too monotonous.
Yeah, we don't want that.
But we have the same aim and the same goal. That's the important thing.
That's right. I go collect this clip here real quick. Before you go,
even among a nest of ants, if you look carefully with a hand lens, all the ants ain't look the same.
No.
You know?
I like the warrior ants though. I like them.
Right.
I like them ones the best. Them got an important role to play.
And in a colony of bees, all they look the same, but they're making honey together. So let us make honey.
That's right. Oneness. I like that one, Jackie, for sure. Jackie, you understand the oneness.
Okay, family. Have a blessed night.
End on the nest though, so that people can see the understand it's a oneness.
Yes, oneness.
Oneness. Let me play this real quick. This is another piece on stagflation from the white perspective definition. Check this out real quick.
Stagflation?
Yeah, we are in stagflation.
We are. Stagflation is simply where, you have inflation, and yet at the same time, you have high unemployment.
Yeah, you have economic weakness.
Right.
In other words, you have a stagnant economy. Stagnant, essentially means
growth is reduced.
Low growth, and with high inflation. And that happens through this monetary situation that I'm describing, in which the central bank tries to deal with a middle course. In other words, what does the central bank want? Not too high inflation and not too low growth.
Mm-hmm.
And so when there's a lot of debt, because one man's debts are another man's assets, it becomes very difficult balancing act.
One man's debt is another man's asset. I want y'all to listen to that carefully and know that the central bank involved in this thing. Hence, they print in new money.
And that is when you have stagflation, when you produce it. So just like in the 1960s, late 60s, we spent a lot of money on guns and butter, we called it, the Vietnam War and social programs and so on. We wrote too many checks relative to the money we had in the bank, which was gold at the time. 1971, the devaluation. Then they print a lot of money into that stagflation. So stagflation is is the middle course when there's two different.
So the Fed and Jay Powell has a balance.
So understand that, family. They start to print money. They start to print paper. Because the whole idea is to make you think that everything is all well and dandy, when the truth and the fact is one man's debt is another man's fortune. We ain't catching up. We keep playing this game thinking that they're going to give us a scotch at this table and a bench. And we need to take this thing by force, man. Since today, John the Baptist, he said the kingdom suffer violent and the violent take it by force. Our problem is we want to be peacekeepers in the time of war. We ain't getting it, though. We ain't getting it. Elder, we living in some changing times, but like you said, the best of times, the worst of times, but definitely the best of times, man.
Yes, man.
One love,
Definitely.
one aim, one destiny, family. Real thing.
Respect every time, family.
Real thing, real thing. That's the brethren right there. You know, I art emotion. We need a tune for these times, so you're gonna have to write a tune for us, man. And you gotta write a tune for the elder and Yaraman as well. But elder,
Definitely art in motion. Definitely.
yeah, this brother right here, talented. You can check him on Facebook. Brother right here, talented, gifted, gifted. I mean, we are the ones. Forget it. I mean, that's just what it is. It's time for us to step up. So everything is happening so that we could step up. It's not happening to us, it's happening for us. Those who have eyes to see, let them see. And those who have
Positively.
ears to hear, let them hear. I know last week a brother wasn't too happy because I was talking about the whole don't let the youths put on the guns. But let me tell you something. Every nation has an army here. Every nation on earth has an army. So we know that our youths on the blocks, what they call the blocks, and even the man in Bottom Town, when I was going on Bottom Town, people keep asking me, you go down Bottom Town? You're frightened. But I love Bottom Town though. I love Bottom Town. Bottom Town is the place to go, especially you want the fish and chips from the brother right there by the radio station.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stompy, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So them is the places I go through. But my point is that them is we people though. That's we army, man. That's Jar Army. The stones that the builder refused. You see, them is all the stones the builder refused. And you don't want these youths in your system. You don't want these youths in your framework and your network. That's all right. We don't want you anyhow. We can build your own thing and do your own thing and restore your own thing and claim what is ours, man. And you gonna go to work for us. Bottom line.
Definitely.
So, Elder, we give thanks again for you coming forward as always.
Blessed love, peace.
Blessed love always to you and the family cross the water. Much love,
Yes,
full 100 respect. Rastafari live, reign, and rule over all.
Ashe.
Rastafari. Give thanks,
Yes,
give thanks. Family, give me a second. I'm gonna bring in sign. Just don't give me a second here, man. Yes, family. Give thanks to the elder as always. Y'all don't know how it go. Much kinetic love and energy towards the Father there. I mean, what can we say? We one people, one Caribbean, one. Remember that. And we know the way. Together we gonna make this thing happen. That's right, art and motion. Togetherness is what we're dealing with, man. And it's joyful times. We started with the land though. We need the land restored to the people though. All this crown land, family, look, a piece of land you like, and just claim it. Claim it, man. Let's go claim it. The way they claiming it, you can claim it too. The same way they tell you is theirs, is yours too. The same way they write their constitution, make sure you got your constitution too. The same way they got their flag, make sure you got your flag too. And deal with sovereignty. There's nothing they could tell you. The earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof. But guess what? I and I is the Lord. Now what? Them is things they teach us, don't let it trick you. Have you sign over your birth rights and your birth certificate in exchange for a Trident ID with a special chip that can monitor you. Oh, by the way, the Spirit revealed something to me the other day. And go look this up if you don't believe me. That's if you don't believe me. Those FRID chips. When you're doing catalog right now, inventory in big places like PriceSmart and these places where they have thousands of little goods, you think that they sit there and count those goods? They take those goods, clothes, shampoos, soap, whatever they got with their little tags, and they wheel them through the scanner. And if you got 1,000 goods packed in that box and somebody stole 3, the scanner going to pick up 997. It's going to register every single one, including the 3 that missing, because it knows the count. Guess what? I was thinking, you see them things they recently put up across the highway, down Whole Town, down Waterford Bottom, and all over the place? Randomly, these big metal towers would say you're going to scan the ID on the card. Well, that's the same technology. I mean, it's the same technology. So you could pass a bus to that same device. The same can pick up the radio scan from the car insurance sticker that they claim. What's to make you think it can't pick up every single passenger on that bus to know who on the bus based on the ID card that you might have in your wallet? Family we live in. And the thing is, they're doing these things and they ain't really telling you the truth about them, you know, because although they never said that, I'm the one who telling you that that device can do such a thing. Again, if I am in error, somebody please correct me. I beg you, correct me. When the spirit show me things, I don't question it. I tell myself, you know what? I bet that machine can scan a whole bus that they do inventory and scan everybody on every car passing through and fro right there. They know who going where, when you left, when you passed, where you're going, where it was at. Pure monitoring system. Why do they have a need to monitor you so much? Why is that necessary? Can somebody please tell me why? See, what they have not told you is the why. They tell you how good it's going to be. Digital, we're going to be digital. Yeah, we're going to be digital. That's like, yeah, you know, we house master. Nah, this ain't we house master. Get your ass back in the slave hut. You ain't, you know, you were here to clean the floor and pick up my toilet paper, whatever, the condoms for the foreign napkins in the hotel room. I be hearing the maids telling me, the people that, these housekeepers, I should say, or whatever you want to call them. I don't even know what they call them now. What they call them? The hospitality crew. Fancy name. Picking up condoms off the floor and sanitary napkins with blood in it that the torch just be pelting next to the garbage can. Don't even put it in the can. Just throw it on the floor. You know what I mean? Nah, man. Anyhow, I ain't touched that too much. But we can get into that another time, man. As it goes right now, family, I just gonna drop a little sizzler. And that kind of mood, man. Show us the way, family. King Selassie, aye. Yeah. Lay your black self down. Babylon. Greater son. Jesus. Jesus, I gotta pull out one, family, man. Them sort of tunes you can't really play once, man. I gotta pull out one, family. Hold on. Hold on, man. Sizzler Kalonji. I had to pull that tune again, man. Hey, I got a sizzle life here. Hold on. Jackie, where you there? You're wrong. Let's give me a black self down. I will be hailing King Selassie. I don't know about you, but we're going to be hailing His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Righteousness, divine order run earth. Frustration. That's right. Show us the way, Father. Show us the way. Let us be sanctified. Yeah, I'm an Ethiopian. Wrap up, remember when the cheese on couldn't come me king? Kill that boy there with a sling. Jesus. Yes. Give me images to praise. Me not praise none. Jesus. We not cool nothing. We not cool a thing. I will be hailing King Selassie. Rastafari. They shut that one off, man. They shut that one off, man. Yeah, I know the folks right there on Facebook. I don't know what happened, man. Don't watch the face, man. Y'all can still see it here. Y'all won't leave a comment go on YouTube, man. You know how they get when they ready to edit my stuff. It's all right, though. They do, but they never shut it down, which is the strangest thing. But nevertheless, we give thanks all the while. We give thanks all the while. Yes, give thanks. Jacqueline, I see you. Natasha, too. We give thanks, man. Family, as usual, we give thanks for the elder. Blessed love to each and every one. Full joy the rest of this magnificent, amazing Monday, Moon Day. And we're going to link up on Wednesday, man. We got some special things happening on Wednesday. We're going to do a BAP special right here and Politically Incorrect for the youths. And whole Wilfred Abram and his crew responsible for this fake investigation into the torture, abuse, and God knows, kidnapping in some cases of our youths. Try to let the people go home. Let the youths go home, man. Let me fix this thing, brother. And you can just go ahead and resign already, huh? You think I'm joking? This is going to be your Achilles heel. Mark my word. I keep telling you so, you know. You are listening. Anyhow, family, blessed love to each and every one. And we're going to link again come Wednesday. Rastafari live, reign, and rule. Haile Selassie first, Empress Rizera Menin. One perfect balance, family. Yeah, full joy.